Hey everybody, welcome back to Oopsie Daisy. I'm your host, Amanda Herdler, and I'm so excited to, for the first time ever on camera, not first time on a microphone, but first time on a video episode, is my husband, Chris. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Did you get nervous?
Extremely nervous.
Why?
I don't know. Is it
because it's a video?
Well, yeah, it is definitely weird seeing yourself on video, but it's also been a while. It's been a long time since I've been on here.
You didn't come on here. It was probably May, June, July, August, September. It's been a year and a half since you've been on here. And I don't think you even knew about this, is that I've been in this like long slugging solo period of just week after week pumping out solo episodes. So it's really nice to have someone else to talk to and bounce ideas off of and have another butt in the chair. I think everybody's going to be excited not just to hear from me as well.
Maybe, but it's been good stuff. I didn't feel like you needed me, but also I know that you've asked me to be on, so it's probably time.
Well, here's the cool thing is that this was your idea. Out of the blue, you guys, I had stopped praying. I had stopped praying for him to come on this podcast. And I was like, whatever, God, whenever you're ready, he's just going to be ready. And you texted me last week and said, I've got a podcast episode. Let's talk about it. And I was like, and then I tried not to show you too much excitement in my text because I thought it would scare you off. I just like, thumbs up, bro.
Well, I think it all came upon, to be honest, when we were at that Luke Holter conference, and he kind of like hit me in the undercarriage, yeah, and the nuts.
You can say nuts on this.
When I was asking him about dreams and why I continue to have, well, I don't continue to, but have had dreams about you leaving me. And then he kind of just looked me right in the eyes and he's like, it's about confidence, man. You need to be confident. And I was like, oh, no man wants to truly hear that, right? Like, I'm confident. I show up and I do all these things, but he was really right. And he's like, you need to work on your confidence. And I'm like, well, okay, well, I know I'm a good speaker and I know I can, heck, I'm a counselor, for Christ's sakes. People come and ask me all these things. And so it was kind of like, well, always hesitated to come back on, after kind of sharing our story and some of the things that kind of happened with that. And so,
because there was backlash,
a little bit of backlash, like with anything though, it's adversity can, keep someone down or you persevere, and it kept me down for quite a while.
Is that what it was? Honestly, was it the backlash we got, or was it you were scared to come on and look like an idiot? Or,
well, that's part of my self-confidence stuff, truly. As a guy or as a man, I don't think any man wants to show any vulnerability or weakness. I'm a pretty sensitive guy. I know there are things that you share or that you've even shared on the podcast that I get sensitive about hearing, because it's not something that, we talk about in a day-to-day life, living, raising kids, that you hear things. And so there, you can be sensitive, but I'll ask you or I'll talk to you about it. But it's also like, I don't run and feel like it has to be something that I, come to the podcast and share.
You don't want to sit in my chair and cry like I do?
No, and laugh and all the other things too, or take my bra off.
Whoa,
like one of the episodes you said, sit back and take your bra off. I'm like, okay.
Listen, mine was on. I was just inviting others to get comfortable, right. But there's no way I'm going on YouTube with no bra on.
Well, I remember Adam Larson was one of the ones that said, like, hey, is this like, can guys listen? And do you remember that? It was kind of funny. He's like, how do we take our bras off and stuff? So
you can take your boxers off if that's more comfortable.
Yeah, it's just one of the things. I feel like, we're a team, and it's important that I support you through this. And part of that support is probably coming on here every once in a while and just letting it be known. You share a lot of our stories, and so I'm sure a lot of the listeners would also like to hear from the other half, as much as I like to hear, what's going on with you, because that is one of the cool things about communication.
Yeah.
Is, you need the other person to have the mutual aspect of it, right?
I'm chuckling because you bring up this idea of communication and communicating with your spouse in a period where in the last, what would you say, 2 not 2 weeks, it's been longer than
Yeah.
2 months, like 10 weeks.
The whole month of November.
So since about mid-October until I would say now, we probably have had the worst communication we've ever had in our marriage. Like after, I mean, not the divorce and whatever, but since we've gotten remarried, I feel like we hit a low point, at least for me, that we hadn't hit yet. And we've been remarried for 6 years now.
Yeah.
And I think it was the worst time of the last 6 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say it's the worst when you've had the worst, but it definitely wasn't up to the level of communication I think you and I are used to, right? Like this level of vulnerability and checking in and sharing. And yet, I think my job got really tough. I put a lot of on your plate as far as kind of making sure the home life is going on, and I'm was trying to compartmentalize like work and coming home, and so I was pretty short with you and kind of just had this expectation that you were going to take care of stuff, and I felt a few times we squabbled over stuff that we probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I think when you kind of are emotionally exhausted and tired, patience, I didn't have a lot of patience for a lot of the things that you were saying, and
Or
so
any of the
right.
things I was
But I'm
saying.
but I'm also not one to like you are you like to have the last word in some things and you like to keep it going, and I'm kind of like, bro, I'm just going to step back here and kind of take it, and I'll just shut up.
Do you think I'm still like that? I thought I was getting better. I honestly thought I was getting better.
I think you've gotten better. There are some habits that I think over 40 years that that stay with us that are a little harder to break. And I think in any marriage, right, there's it's not passion as much as you're passionate about things, and someone kind of tests you or pushes you, you're not going to back down about things. You're not wrong too often, but when you are, you don't like to necessarily admit it. Um, and you speak and you think so much faster than I do. So I'm on the diving board and you've already done a triple salt into it. And you're like, look at how this is. And I'm still trying to formulate what I'm about to say to you.
Okay, can I admit something and have you not judge me?
Sure.
I know that about you. I've never told you this, okay? There are times when I know I'm 100% wrong, but I know if I can like slither my way through the conversation and talk really fast and really, really high level at you, that I'll end up getting you to agree with me so
Yep.
that I'm not wrong.
That's
That's
that's called manipulation.
Chris. Oh, can we give it like a rosier? Is that really manipulation?
I mean, if you know and your intentions are to get what you want, I think that's a little bit of manipulation, but
Okay, it's not to get what I want. It's honestly just so I can prove my point because in my head I think I'm right. But then in the middle of a conversation you'll say something and I know I'm wrong, but I'm so pot committed and like you said, I'm very very passionate. When I believe in something, I'll die on that hill and I will do it loudly with well-stated arguments and it'll hold up in the court of law. But sometimes in the middle of it, you'll throw something like a banana peel on my Mario Kart that sends me like, and then I know I'm wrong. I just want to see if it can like go through to the end.
right.
Part of it, maybe okay, maybe it's manipulation. It might be. Part of it's also kind of like a social experiment, just
I
to
mean,
see how far I can get.
it's
It's so unhealthy.
it's a fun experiment. I will say that.
Are you having fun?
I mean, to your point, I mean, the season itself, for us, it starts in November with the girls' birthdays, but this isn't just us. It's for everyone. It's the holidays. It's the anticipation of being around family, and there's a lot of stress around family. And then, with work and the cost of things and this and that, you want to be able to, provide, and not just providing material things, but provide in being there emotionally and mentally and physically. And everyone's getting pulled so many different ways. And so it's hard, specifically, I think, in marriage, right? Like the first person that gets neglected is your spouse,
Yeah.
in my opinion, right? Because it's like for those parents that are listening, your kids are your priority. And that's not necessarily supposed to be the number one priority, right? You want to make sure your kids are fed and all that stuff. But too, like in a marriage, I have to make sure I'm healthy because if I'm not healthy, then I can't be there for you and I can't be there for the kids.
Well, somebody told me the way it was designed was God at the top, then your spouse, then your kids in order of priority.
Well, then my
You get it
priorities have been
wrong.
way off for the last like 6 to 8 weeks because it's not been any of that. It's been work is my priority, and that's probably what's thrown me off. It has been off kilter, and I've been aware of it. You've told me. I mean, on my birthday, you gave it to me straight about some stuff. I was like, "Happy birthday!" Uh,
Okay, but listen, listen. This is what I was wanting to say too. I did. I filleted you like a walleye on the morning of your birthday. I did say happy birthday first. You got to give me that.
yep,
I did.
it was kind of like the nice icing. Just here's the cupcake, but get ready to. You're not eating this cupcake
The
until I get to
cherry,
tell you what's up.
the cherry was different
Yep,
than you expected.
yep,
No, but here's what I was gonna say because you said we don't fight a lot, and what's wild is we haven't been fighting a lot the last 8 weeks. What
mm-mm,
it's been is shutting down,
yep,
and it's been distance, and it's been quiet, and it's been resentment on I don't know if on your side, but that's what I told you the morning of your birthday. I It kind of all came to a head for me, and I was really frustrated and feeling really, really alone because like, yep, I get you have a job, but I'm over here going, as a mom, as a wife, I feel like I'm juggling 10,000 things. There are days when I wish I could just pick work. Like, I just want to be stressed about work, and that's that. But I feel like I'm stressed about my job, which is never stable. It's corporate America, and there's this budget cuts and finances are bad and this, that, and the other thing. So that's constantly in the back of my head. And you know my job, it goes up and down as far as like, do we have client work? Don't we have client work? That stresses me out. But then I'm handling teenage girl emotions and growing up and trying to, you know, help them navigate their relationship with God and figuring out, how I'm going to parent teens and it's food and it's practice schedules and it's calendars and all this. And you come home and you're like, I'm just really stressed about work. And I'm like, you know what? I wish.
right,
And so I kind of let you have it because I know what it feels like to start disconnecting in a marriage. And I told you that morning that I feel like I don't even have a friend. And that's what's really scary is I wish we had fought more. I wish we had gotten into it, face to face, not physically, but like have a real heart to heart that, has a ton of friction, but solve some things. Like I wish we were doing that, but it was quiet and it was silent and it was pulled back and it was withdrawn. I sat on it and I watched it happen for 2 months. And I'm like, you know what? We've lived this. We did this leading up to 2015. And I'm like, I don't care if it's your hatch day or not. This needs to be said because I don't want to go down that road again. And so yeah, I gave it to you pretty good verbally that morning.
yeah. It reminded me. Do you know that? Do you know those progressive commercials that are out right now, where they have the backups that come in? There's a couple of them right now where the dad is talking to I think he's talking to the son about like maybe sex or something,
Yeah.
and the mom's out in the hallway and she's like, "All right, Teddy Bridgewater, come in, call the backup." And there's times like sometimes like when you were saying that, I wanted to like, almost take a time out and be like, "Someone bring in the backup right now because I can't do this right now. I don't want to talk about it. I want to think about it
Switch it
because
up.
I'm sensitive to words, even if they're right, and I think a lot of us are right. Like I don't like being told my shit stinks. I hate it, especially as a dude. And that's been like one of my defects of character for the longest time is I don't like being told I'm dumb. I don't like to look stupid. Even if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I just don't like it.
To be fair, can we just qualify or like clarify that and say I never called you dumb?
No, you didn't.
But when I call you on your stuff,
Yes.
I think there's this like in the middle between my mouth and your ears, and it comes across your brain as you absolute idiot.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating because I'm not saying a certain message, but you react like I said it. And I'm going,
Yeah.
where is this? This is like left field behavior. I don't even know. And it's hard for me to even communicate with that because you're reacting to something that I never even said.
Right. But Brene Brown says it really well in this show, A Call to Courage. She says, "What the story my brain is telling me." And I like that because the story that my brain is telling me is much different than what's the reality. But my brain will tell a different story, that she thinks I'm this, that I am not a good father, that I'm a horrible husband, that I can't do this and I can't do that. But it's a lot of like that conversation that we were having yesterday or the other day with the kids. Like we were talking about hunting, and the men instinctually want to hunt to provide for the family. Like there's something sometimes that I know I get stuck in my head. I'm like, well, I'm doing the thing that the man's supposed to be doing, right? Going to work, providing, making sure the garbage, like all the stupid things, like
don't stop doing that.
that I feel like are my role.
Yeah.
But when you get off kilter and work becomes the number one, and you don't remember to pray and do the God stuff, and you don't remember how important your marriage is, that you're so off kilter that it's hard for me specifically to get back on track. Because, you know, I know we call this the silly season at work, right? Addicts and alcoholics. It's the silly season. They're with their families, the people that are maybe the perpetrators of some of their abuse and the victimization that they're dealing with. So I just get a lot of stuff thrown at me. And so I know it's unfair because sometimes I'll tell you guys, I can't take any more. I can't take any more of this stuff. I don't want to make the decisions. I just kind of want to sit and get a second. This is the other thing that I know about you is we've gotten to that point specifically after the divorce. I need you to tell me, much like I can put you in your place. I don't like doing it, much like you probably don't like receiving it, but the story that is in your head is probably much different than the story in my head. Like the story in my head will tell me she just doesn't want to be with me. She's going to leave me. She's going to find somebody.
Even still, even after everything, and even after being remarried for 6 years,
sometimes
that's still in your head.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Like if we squabble or just
no, not squabbling. No, it's just it. I don't know how to like. I don't know a good parallel, but like all I can think of is addicts. It's like a craving, right? You could be going just fine. All of a sudden, something reminds you of something, and then all of a sudden, it's like the light bulb goes off. Oh, that'd be so nice to get high. And so sometimes it's just like. Yes. And for me,
I am very open with my issues with marijuana. If you put something in front of me, I have a really hard time saying no. So right. I gotta stay away from it.
Right. It's just part of it. I mean, I'd love to say that it's out of my head. Right. I can't remember the last time I had a dream about it, because you remember all those times I'd have the dreams that I'd wake up in bed like freaking out, like, where are you? Because
yes,
I thought you had left me again.
And you slap the side of the bed, and then it wakes me up at 3 a.m. in a panic because I'm getting like beat on, and it's just you making sure that I didn't leave you, and then I'm up for the rest of the night because I got so scared.
Right. And when I'd have those, I'd get up in the morning and I'd leave for work, and I wouldn't tell you any of that, and I'd be so mad at you. And you'd always be like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. And then I finally told you about it, right? Like, I think so much about like marriage and communication is being honest. There's rigorous honesty, and rigorous honesty means you have to tell them everything, right? You can't just tell them little parts of it. You know, one of the stories I tell in group is that time that I was laying in beds with the girls, and that one of the girls that I hooked up with when we were divorced messaged me. And this is years later. I think we were already remarried 3 years.
Yeah.
And out of the blue, I got that text.
An STD?
No, that was a different one. I'm not gonna talk about that.
It's a different day.
What do they call that in school? The head count? Is that what they called it?
It's a body count.
Oh, body count. Yeah. We'll see. Youths. That's such a high body. Oh my God. But I remember sitting in bed with our daughter getting this text, and I remember saying like first thought wrong, because I was like, oh, this is intriguing, because it was like, oh my gosh, somebody other than my wife wants me, right? But
can I tell you that's a huge thing about cheating too? That's the open door.
Yeah.
Is that no matter how much you love your spouse and know that you're a good person, there is something so flattering about somebody finding you funny and smart and beautiful. And it's like, you used to tell me those things constantly. That didn't stop me from cheating multiple times. It does. It starts with that little thrill of, oh my gosh, this is new. And it's like, I feel like it kind of throws you back to like that Twitter pated junior high or like beginning of dating somebody when it's exciting and it's fun.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Well, I don't care how old you are. I mean, look at the world we live in. There's people older than us that have been married 20, 30, 40 years. And all of a sudden infidelity happens because someone does that.
Yeah.
But I mean, lust and those things. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this could be fun. But then I immediately was like, I remember sending the text, I'm married. I was like, well, let's have lunch. And I was like, okay, this is bad. And if I remember right, I came in and woke you up and said, I need to be honest with you. Like, this is
Yes.
happening right now. And I do not want to be a part of it.
Okay, I remember you telling me that, and I had to shut my mouth because immediately, like, you get upset. I mean, and then all these things went through my head, like, you cheated, Amanda. Why would you ever, get mad at him about telling you or whatever? And I remember having to pray and saying, Lord, what do I say to this? And I think I just told you I really appreciate your honesty. What did you say?
Yep.
I don't even think I looked at the text message. But all these alarm bells were going off in my head. But do you want to know what's weird? And I don't know if I ever told you this.
Shocker.
Sometimes it's not that I hide things from you, I just forget.
I find so much out on the podcast.
There's a lot in my head that
What could this one be?
forget to share it all. No, I swear I told you this, that for a couple weeks leading up to that point, when you were on your phone in bed at night and like turned over because I get so mad when the light's on from your phone. So you like put the covers over your head and it's like you're watching sports or whatever you're doing because we don't have a TV in our bedroom. But for 2 weeks leading up to that, I was like, he's cheating on me. He's texting other girls. And I got super paranoid about this. See, now you're nodding like you remember.
Well, I mean,
I did tell you.
you've said that several times.
Yes. But sometimes I get this feeling of like, oh my gosh, he's talking to another girl. And I think probably it's when there's periods maybe that we're disconnected. And when I feel that disconnect from you, I'm not as nice to you. I'm not like,
Yeah.
I'm a rough around the edges. Just like normally I'm kind of rough around the edges. But when I don't feel like you and I are a team and I don't feel like, we're buddies and we're lovers and we're spouse, like when I don't feel that way, I don't know, some nasty comes out in me and I'm like have no time for even the breath coming out of your mouth or those chips you're chewing. I got no time or patience.
I just want to let all the listeners know I am safe. I am safe. I am safe.
Nobody is ever going to listen to this again.
No.
They're going to be, this woman is terrible.
No. But I mean, yeah, no, it's one of those things. I think when you experience something, it's like this forgiveness piece, right? I can't be a steward and walking the walk when I say I forgive you if I don't do my part. And part of forgiveness to me too is I have to also walk the same lines that I'm asking you to do, right? And what that means to me is like if I'm being tempted or someone is approaching me, if I forgave my spouse for that, why in the hell would I want to do the same thing to you?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of this rigorous honesty piece, we went through the last few months where I'm all about rigorous and courageous and sometimes brutal honesty whenever necessary. We've always been about that. However, you were in a place where I don't think you were able to what is happening over there?
My mouth was parched and water shot everywhere. It's on video too.
Get
So
electrocuted.
You can rewatch that.
We had a lot of cords going today.
We
so
do.
You better be careful. No, but if the man is not in a place to receive any of that, what do you do? Because I was being really, really honest with you. And every time I was, and I said it in a loving way 90% of the time. It was in a loving way. It was super honest. I was not elevated whatsoever. And then you would come at me and be like, calm down. Amanda, we don't need to get elevated about this. And I'm like, I'm not doing any of that.
Yep.
I'm doing the same thing I've always done. And you would get so defensive. And then it would be things like, well, I guess I just suck as a dad.
Well,
I guess I'm just a terrible husband.
That's because it brings up the insecurity in me or in a person.
And that's fair. But I'm saying as a wife, as spouses, how do you navigate that with somebody who is taking it super defensively, is passive aggressive about it, and you've had this foundation of honesty for so long and you can't anymore? What do I do? What do they do? What do we do?
It would be unfair for me to tell you not to do it, right? Like I still think there has to be the ability to share openly and honestly. Now, I mean, if you say this to me and I don't receive it, that you still have to plant the seed. I still have to hear it,
yeah.
And it's up to me whether I do anything with it. Does it suck to hear some? Yeah, it does. But I mean, underneath the covers is just insecurity. And no, I don't like those things to come out because it's then you're vulnerable. You're kind of naked on the highway. That's the scary thing, is right. Like, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, because it's head on. But anytime you're comfy and your nookie blankie gets pulled back and you're vulnerable, and then all of a sudden the insecurities come, the story in my head becomes protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself. And so it's so much easier to point the finger at another person than it is to look at yourself in the mirror and say, she's absolutely right. So for me, sometimes I have to take that stuff alone for a little bit and go, that sucked, but she's right. And then we always come back and have a conversation, and I will say, you're right. But in the moment, going back to what we talked about before, I know you're 6 steps ahead of me. And whether that might not be in every marriage, right? But you are. And so for me, I take it and I just need to process it. And then I need to come back and we will have a conversation about it, which we typically do. But the insecurities, when they come out and somebody gets to them, my first thing is to shut down. Yeah. Is because I need to protect myself. And I think that's just the primal instinct of a lot of us, is protect, right? It's fight or flight. And so I have to protect myself, because the other thing is I don't want to say anything that's going to hurt you. Because when I feel threatened, I will use my word. And my word is typically raise my voice, or I'll swear, or I'll say something that's going to hurt you. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to anybody. But once that armor is off and I'm feeling vulnerable, insecure, I do what I know best, and that's to protect myself. And I will use words, or I'll say something to someone to get somebody fired up, and they'll know, like, that's enough.
See, I think I respond to that.
You do respond to that.
I do. What I hate is the backing off.
Yes.
The silence and like the flight and the shutting down is so maddening to me. Like, and I honestly still don't know how to deal with that in a marriage. I don't. I think I'm getting better because I've learned to walk away. And like, I understand now that God's got some things to say to you. Whether or not you think you're hearing him, he's doing something in your brain and in your heart when we go apart and go our separate ways and go into our separate corners and take a little water break after round 2. He's doing something in you, and he's doing something in me. And so I think I'm willing to give it enough space now. But you're right. There's these 2 stances of I'm hurt, I'm insecure, I'm going to turtle up, or I'm hurt, I'm insecure, I'm going to come forward at you and swing. And that's how I am. Mm-hmm. And so when you take verbal swings at me, it almost is like, okay, yeah, like now we're doing this, because to me, I like to fight it out till it's done.
Right.
And so it's been just this learning process for me, even after being with you it'll be 21 years that I'll have been with you. Are you going to say it?
-3.
Dang it. I knew it. I was hoping one time you wouldn't say -3. You can't say -3, because those years we were still, even divorced, we still were figuring life out together. Okay. Yep. Apart. I don't know. After 21 years, it still is like, sometimes I just beat my head against the wall, because it's like, I don't know. I think I'm learning that all the things I want to change about you have not really changed. God's done a work in me where I think I understand you better, and I think I have more patience for it. And I think that's something that I've stopped doing, is trying to change you. And now I'm trying to cheerlead you more. Have you been able to tell this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I need to know, is it working? I was really hoping for like a fast.
I wasn't going to give you an emphatic yes. I mean, I don't think you deserve that.
Oh, so it hasn't been that great?
I mean,
I'm trying.
There's 3 words. Marriage is hard. The neighbors are going to love that, because that was my prophetic word that one night, is marriage is hard. And so, yes, I appreciate it. I mean, I'm not probably going to do jumping jacks and flips, because you know that, like, as much as I am insecure and lack some self-confidence in a lot of areas, I'm no different than any other man or woman. You like the positive affirmations. You like that someone is in your corner.
Yeah.
Because I've been in that side too, where when we were divorced, I didn't have anybody in my corner. I mean, I had people in my corner telling me all the things
to hate about me,
to hate about you, and to leave. And I mean, not everyone, but everyone has an opinion, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard when everyone has an opinion and you're kind of spinning your own little web of like, what am I going to do when I this? And I can't believe you do this. Why do you even talk to her? I would never do that. I would do this. And it's like, great. Those are your opinions.
Yeah.
That's not how I am. And if you don't have anything healthy or constructive to say to me, then I can't be around you. I don't want to be around the destructive part. My life is falling apart right now.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm going through this divorce. I'm trying to be here for the kids. And I tried to choose to not be in the destructive part, but even then I wasn't good at it. I was filling that void with dating sites and getting an STD and all this
I can't believe you
stuff.
admitted that over the airwaves.
It is what it is. I mean, it's part of the story.
Yeah.
And part of the healing story is why would I want to hide that? Like, this is what I did. I'm no different than any other man. If stuff like that happens, it doesn't have to be that your wife cheated on you or, you know, you lose your job or somebody says something to you. You find something to fill the void. And that's what you do. It's not healthy by any means, right? Like, I didn't like choose to like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to get an SCD and I'm so excited to do all these things. No, I did not want to have any of that happen. But I mean, much like you said, at the end of the day, I mean, that time apart was an opportunity for me to figure out who I wanted to be. And, you know, I learned a lot about who I was as a man and suffocating you, not with a pillow, like anything like that. But, you know, my life revolved around trying to make you happy. And I was not happy, which in turn made you not happy. And so there's so much stuff that goes into that relationship. And it's not just communication, right? Because I'm here to tell you, even after today, there's going to be stuff that happens where we're going to be impatient with each other and we're not going to communicate well. And we're going to get off track. But at the end of the day, if my goal and your goal is to always still work and unify as one, there has been nothing in our story we can't get through. Like, think about all of this stuff. I mean, tomorrow will be what, 16 years since I had a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened to us on top of the divorce, on top of all of these things. And yet here we sit, right? Like, it's not always been beautiful. When you think of marriage, when you're 20 something, it's like you're walking down the aisle and you're, oh my gosh, it's going to be
sleepover with my best friend.
It's going to be so awesome. It's not. Marriage is hard.
Super hard.
And it's a lot of work. And then sometimes like people don't want to put the work in.
Well, I think one of the biggest differences now, and this is what floors me about you having dreams and still like on a random Tuesday, I'll be like, she's going to leave me, because in my head, for the first time ever, I'm going, divorce is not an option. Splitting up is not an option. And I think if you can find a way early to take that completely off the table and say, we're going to ride this thing out, hell or high water, garbage or glory. I'm here for this. I'm here for you. I finally feel that way about you. And it's allowed me to have this, you know, radical honesty with you, to the point of it being gross and probably hurtful and bruising sometimes. But I feel like, okay, this is it. Like, this is who I'm tied to. That sounds like a negative, but like, this is who my person is. And so, yeah, we can ride out some really gross seasons. I can ride out a period of months where you are not my favorite person. This whole fall, end of the summer and into the fall, I had a really, really hard time being around you. But for the first time, I was okay with that and being like, okay, this is just a season. This too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what's in front of my eyes right now, is not permanent.
Right. When I think one of the things that I always tell my clients when I think about this is I don't always have to like everything you do. And sometimes I don't like you, but I love you. And because of that, it doesn't, none of that other stuff matters. This is because my love will supersede some of the silly things that happen, right? I don't have to like it. We don't have to get along all the time on certain things. But I know at the end of the day, behind all of that silly stuff that happens in a marriage, any marriage, is that there's still the love that keeps us together and brings us together. And to even be able to do something like this, like to sit and talk and open these. I know lots of people that wouldn't be able to have this kind of conversation and just be open, because they'd be worried about what's going to happen after, or what's this person going to think, or how are they going to hold that as the next thing they're mad is they're
Yeah,
going to,
bring it up
yeah,
again.
they're going to bring it up again.
I think when you say love, I get like a little irpy in my mouth. And I don't like, because it's like the love, the love. And I still to this day think love is like this feeling. And I think what changed things a lot for me. Have you ever read Song of Solomon in the Bible? Or it's called Song of Songs?
Crickets. You mean you asked me if I read something?
Chris, it's in the Bible. Did you listen then ever?
No.
Do you get scared to read the Bible?
Yes.
Why?
Goes back to insecurities and feeling dumb. There's a lot of big words and things I don't understand in there.
We got to get you a better version then.
Yeah,
You can
like
read
how
the
about like one like the coloring book one that tells you what's happening?
I'm not kidding. Read the International Children's Bible.
You
It isn't
mean
I read that all the time. I tell the girls all the time, let's read it in the children's Bible version. I don't understand half of it.
I remember that like 3 years ago I watched that YouTube video around Easter with the empty tomb and stuff, and it was all the cartoons. I was like, do you remember I came back the next day and I was like, Amanda, I know all this stuff and it made sense. She's like, what did you do? I'm like, I watched this YouTube video of of the cartoon of Easter, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And you're like, really? I'm like, I didn't read it, but wow, it made so much sense.
You don't have to read. People think you got to read like the "Holy Thou shalt not." Like that's not. You read it in the version that you understand it in. If you read a graphic novel Bible, that God uses that, and also it's not up to you to understand it. When you read it, the Holy Spirit knows where you're lacking, and He'll help fill in. Like you're connected to the author of the dang book.
Then, Lord, I'm praying for a children's Bible that shows me what's all the pictures.
I actually have some.
Yeah.
I'll give one to you. No, but I was reading Song of Songs, and it's like the sexy Bible. Like it talks all about. You're gonna go read it, aren't you?
Sure. I mean,
It's good. It talks about like how her breasts are as nimble as a deer.
keep going.
And it's about like this maiden and her lover king. And I still don't understand if that's supposed to be like us and Jesus as like the bride of Christ. I don't totally understand it. But what struck me so deeply from it when I read it was this man and woman are addressing each other in like the first two chapters as my friend, my friend. And I was like, why, if you are so in love and describing this woman's lips and her breasts and the bedchamber and all of these sexy, sexy things, why are you calling her my friend? And then it hit me like there's an important thing to that of understanding love in a marriage, not as just romance and feeling, because I ain't feeling it. I mean, especially at this point when I'm really confused of what day it is and very full of cheese and carbs, I am not feeling romance, but I am feeling like we're finally back to being connected as friends. And so I'll just allowing that part of your marriage to understand that when you say I don't really like you, but I love you, you don't got to feel ooey gooey. And people talk about that a lot, but nobody ever thinks about the basis of my marriage with you, and I'll be flat out real with
Is
you.
the bedchamber.
Okay, so
I'm so sorry.
I was going in the right hand lane and making an exit to
all right.
the point.
Any of the guys that listen to this are gonna know
You
they're
kept
we
going
do
right
that.
down that freeway.
I know. Gosh darn it. Stereotypical.
But you said it kind of hopefully too. Like, is it?
I don't know. You said breast and bedchamber and all these things, and like
I lost.
Then I saw your lips moving, and I was like, okay, come back here, Chris. Come back to the conversation. She used keywords. Dang it.
I gotta use code words.
Yes.
No.
Sorry.
Now I lost my train of
Yeah,
thought.
see?
No, but listen, my basis of our relationship is truly friendship.
Yep.
And when that developed was during the hardest times of our life.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you were in the hospital and we were still dating, but we were supposedly in love and all of these things, and you may never walk again. And I was watching you get suppositories pushed up your butt and like all this stuff and
crap in my pants at the McMahon's in town.
Yes.
That's love, baby.
I watched you poop your pants.
Yeah, that was love.
But we were really good friends. Like, we had a good time together, we had great conversations together, and and I think before we got divorced, I felt all this pressure to feel ooey gooey, lovey dovey towards you, and I didn't, and I thought the marriage was over. And during our divorce, we got to be friends.
Mhm.
I remembered why I liked talking to you. I remember why you're a fun person to hang out with. This is also why I love when we try to go on a few nights away every year is I remember that you're actually just kind of a cool person. And I think that's really necessary. What?
I'm,
Here
s-
we go.
I'm blushing. I'm so lucky.
Are you
No,
are
I
you
love.
feeling
Yeah.
encouraged and high esteemed
But
now?
do you think that's why the word? I think a lot of us hear the word love, and it's misinterpreted as love is like this intimate thing.
Like sex?
Yeah, like they think that's love, and sure that's a part of it, but I mean, as we all know, the older you get and the longer you're married, like that's different. Like that stuff slows down, and so you need to find that love is not just sex. Love is that the good, the bad, and the ugly of that person, right?
I don't know. I see some women around me who are like so good at just verbally affirming their husband. And that's not natural to me because it feels like sappy almost. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you get home from work, my first thought isn't to like lovingly run my hands on your biceps and tell you how hot you look. That's not what my first thought is. So, as a guy, what are some ways or things that a woman can do to like beef you up without being stupid about it? And maybe that's what it is too. I feel stupid. I can cheerlead and encourage and support, but like I've said before on this podcast, I'm more of like your high school football coach that's like, get in there, son, put your jock strap on and get through it. Like that's kind of how I try to support. But if I wanted to, if a wife wanted to support her husband in a very genuine way that truly lifts you up, what should they say and what should they do?
How about avoid blasting them in front of people? Like avoid bringing the stuff that you two should talk about behind closed doors or within your house in front of others. When you want to talk about insecurities and stuff, that's the last thing a guy wants to do is have their wife, the person that they're supposed to love and supposed to be their biggest supporter, degrade them or belittle them in front of their friends and family.
That's a real thing. Do you
Absolutely.
think I do that?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I mean,
I was
I
just
can't I can't remember the last time, but I mean, I've witnessed it several
oh
times
my
through
gosh,
other
I
people, and I'm like, man, like you know, that's got to be tough, right? Like, if your spouse is literally belittling you or degrading you in front of family and friends, that can't be an easy thing to navigate through. I mean, that's just another little poke on the side, and so then you wonder. I would wonder, like, what the heck is going on? Because I think I did that to you when we were first married. Like, I would say things to you about you in front of your family, then you would tell me like, hey, like that was like, don't do that.
right? Because I feel like I think in a lot of families, mine especially, we take pot shots at each other like jokingly.
Mhm.
But I think there are some things that people are really, really sensitive about, and it's not funny. Like
It's
it's
not.
and I think it becomes, especially for women, I've seen it too. This veiled sort of complaint that you're doing right in front of your
Hmm.
husband. We've made a pact to not do that. And I think it gets a little skewed because like I'll say things about like your limp or your claw
Yeah.
hand, but that is an area where we've been like, no, that's totally fine.
Any of our friends and family that listen know, like, we joke about getting divorced again and for a third marriage, but that's a joke that we are comfortable with because we've said it.
Yeah.
It's like, I can, if I lay the doormat in front of you and if I'm using words and if I'm speaking about myself in a negative way and I'm like, I'm a piece of junk, I'm a garbage dad and husband, and I'm continuing saying that and other people are saying it, I can't get mad at them
Yeah.
because I've just laid the doormat about how I want people to see me and speak of me.
Yeah.
But if I'm not saying that, I certainly wouldn't want you to sit and tell people about my finances or money or how horrible of a person I am in front of
Yeah.
other people.
This is the one I hear a lot is like right in front of the husband saying how much time that husband gets to do their own things. Like, well, you hunt for this many days. Well, you go hang out with the boys. You golf this much.
Yep.
And I don't get to do any of those things.
Yep.
Like this whole bashing of this martyrdom of poor me. I'm home with the kids and my husband is out doing whatever he wants.
Yep.
I hear
Then
that
say
one a
no.
lot.
You had a communication, or you had the communication. You said he could go. And what that means is that you've allowed him the opportunity to go.
You can't be mad about
You
it when
can't
he
be mad
goes.
about it.
Yeah, you can't allow your husband to do something and say, go have fun. And on the back end, resent them and make jokes about them or trash talk them doing it. You
Yeah.
can't. That was your decision to say
Well,
yes.
just as equally as a man can say, hey, I want to go have a guys' weekend, a woman can go say, hey, I want to go do something too. Because gosh forbid that you guys allow us to take care of the kids. We can do it. I will ask you if I want to go, can I go golfing? And you say yes. Well, 10 years ago, if you said yes, I'd be, oh my gosh, she really doesn't want me to go, so I shouldn't go, but maybe I should go. And I would just do the story in my head, right? But now if you say, hey, I'm going to go, like going to Diamond Joe's in a few weeks, you said I could go. And when I go, I'm going to go. You said I could go. So my hope is that when we're together with somebody and you don't bring it up and say, I can't believe he did that. Well, the story is
should have said no then.
You told me I could do it. I don't know if I'm speaking to other men, and maybe some women will hear this and go, holy crap, I'm guilty of that. But I don't think you or women would want us to do that in front of people too.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want that.
I just disassociated for a second because I realized I have barbecue sauce all down the front of my shirt.
Right. You do.
Just don't look at it.
Well, they are on the hoots.
No, Song of Solomon does not refer to them as hoots. Yeah. So, women should not, well, partners in general shouldn't bash each other in public in the form of even joking, unless it's been agreed upon previously. Don't make your spouse second guess you by saying yes when you really mean no. You can't hold a yes against them. How else can a spouse support their husband?
How about how about when you're hungry and you want to eat something, just tell us where the hell you want to eat.
That's going to make you feel secure. And
no, I'm just sorry. I just had to throw it out there because I know there are guys listening that will tell you that this is one of our biggest pet peeves. Yeah, when we're driving the car and you're like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, oh, do you want to go here? No. Do you want to go here? No. Then just tell me where the heck you want to go. Because if you want Chipotle, just say you want Chipotle. Don't ask me where I want to go eat because you want to eat at Chipotle and we'll go to Chipotle.
Well, because sometimes there's a pressure of like, hey, I probably shouldn't have this fast food. But if you got a partner in crime, you're like, yeah, let's do it. So if it's your idea, then I don't feel like I'm this chunky beast who just wants an unhealthy meal. If you're like, let's hit up Culver's, I'm down, ride or die every time I'm saying yes. But I don't always want to be the one to be like, hey, let's go get a fat burger. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter where we eat. It's that we're spending time together.
I don't even think it's where. I think it's the fact that we don't want to be the ones to be like, let's go spend some money and a lot of calories on something that we probably don't need.
Yeah.
We want to be invited into it by a partner in crime, not.
Or is it easier because if I say we're going to have dinner here and the food sucks, that it was my pick?
No, I don't think that way.
No, okay, cool. Well, I think some people do.
I just want somebody else to suggest that we're doing it, and it's not. Then it's not my problem. It's not my fault.
Well, sure. There you go.
The healthy choice and the spent money ain't my problem. If it's your idea.
So what was your question?
Okay, yeah, you derailed us. What else can a wife do to genuinely support her husband and bring up his self-esteem? Because I'm trying. I see it, and I'm trying to help you build it. There was a very wise woman that once told me, our former pastor's wife once told me that if there's a void in your husband that, of course, God fills every void and whenever, but like if there's an emotional need that you're not willing to fill, a human's first reaction is to go find that somewhere else. And I've been really thinking about that lately, about being a softer place to land for you, being kinder to you, cheerleading you more, not telling you how I would do things, because I think that's something that I do is when you take the lead and make a decision, I tend to go, well, I would have done it this way. Well, who cares? You're doing it. Shut up, Amanda. And so I'm trying to shut up Amanda over here.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think from, the 3,000 mile view, and I'm thinking like grudge holding, don't hold on to burdens, like don't bring up the past. Like those are things that I think people do very easily. It goes back to that whole thing about like the forgiveness thing is like let's not bring up the past and let's not rip band-aids out. And I think a lot of people do that.
No, I think that grudge holding thing is very important because you can't come to a fight or show up on the battlefield with 55 historic arguments stacked in your back pocket, ready to go. You did this, boom, here's your ace card. And you did this, boom, here's your ace card. And none of those have anything to do with what's been happening, but you use them as ammunition again. And not even as ammunition as a present battle, but like this idea of, I was thinking about this the other day about how 2 weeks ago, I didn't even really want to be in the same room with you. And now I can sit and laugh and joke with you. Nothing has changed. Work is still hard. We've had some arguments and some conversations, which is good. But I haven't expected you to make it up to me. Like, there's been nothing that you've done. You did buy me a few extra Christmas presents this year, which I don't, was that part of it?
No,
Okay, good.
never has.
But I didn't expect you to just sort of grovel and do all of these things to show me just how sorry you were that it got to that point. People in general want somebody to prove how sorry they are. I know I hurt you. This is how sorry I am. I'm willing to do this, 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 and this. And like keep showing you that we keep apologizing. And I think that's an unfair expectation. If you've worked through something, leave it be then. Leave it be. The past is the past. That thing's been worked through. Like you said, don't rip a band aid off a wound and re expose it because that's how bad scars happen. When you
Right.
pick at an open wound again and again and again, you get a nasty scar that never goes away. And it's a constant reminder and it's a constant bump in your relationship now that you've hashed it out 52 times.
Right. And I think that's where I was going. And that's why I grabbed my phone, because I had something I wanted to make sure I shared when I brought it up.
Yeah, I was mad when you grabbed your phone. I
No,
thought you were
because
done
like
with the combo.
I bring up forgiveness in the sense, and what you're talking about too is one of the things that I wrote down and shared in group the other day is it's if you are holding on to your past is holding on to you. Right. And that's kind of what you're talking about. But when you're asking me that question is what's something, that we as men or women don't want our spouses to do or anybody to do is to kind of bring up the past, especially if you're talking about forgiveness, is because if you keep bringing it up, obviously it's holding on to you. There's something there, right? And it's when you think of the word forgive, it means to stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone for an offense, flaw, or mistake.
Well, I'm choking on my own spit over here because I never thought forgiveness uh, that way. And when you bring it up like that, there's people in my life that I need to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
Yeah, we're kind of doing a full back circle moment as we're kind of getting to the end here. Is right when I thought about this last week, it was forgiveness, and this was before Christmas, right? And I think it was Tuesday morning of my birthday when all this stuff happened. That's what we talked about in group, which is crazy to me. And I think I texted you later, and I'm like, I think we need to podcast about forgiveness and to forgive, because this really hit home with me. Is like forgiveness is a choice, right? A choice that I'm making to hold on to. If I can't forgive you, then it's anger that I'm going to hold on to, right? That's not healthy, but it's a choice. It's a process as well, right? And it's not easy, but within that, there's a sense of freedom. And I think that's one of the big things for me, that when I teach and talk about forgiveness, because I'm not sitting here saying that I'm the holy grail. I have worked on forgiveness and learning what to forgive means. I have forgiven you. Has it been easy? No. Has it been a process? Yes. Has it given me freedom? Absolutely. Does that mean that I'm not going to sleep and have dreams or have thoughts about it? No, because it happens. Right? But to me, what that means is if I've forgiven you, I'm not going to bring it up. Even the last 6 weeks when we were kind of having these things, did I ever bring that up to you? Did I ever use it as a way to control or anger or any of those things? No. When you forgive someone, that means you've forgiven them. And if I bring that up, not only does it hurt you, it hurts me. And I am not someone who wants to live in anger, right? That's exactly what that thing said is, to forgive is to be in a place of stop feeling angry. And that's where I was for a long time at you. I was angry.
I just think about being triggered. And the thing that's sticking out to me right now is not mistakes or things that were done to me, like bad behavior against me. What's really hitting my gut right now is this idea of flaws and being triggered by somebody's flaws and getting so worked up about it.
Yep.
And I think that's where we can't do this alone. I can't stop being triggered by your flaws unless I take it to Jesus and go, I need to give this to you. This feeling that I'm having, I know I cannot change this person and I can't really change how I feel about it. It's been a long standing pattern of behavior and habits of 20 years that I still get really triggered by. And I have to bring it to him and say, this is yours. This is yours, Lord. Help me forgive. Show me how to forgive. Teach me how to forgive. And I think that's where he helps us change our perspective on it. I was talking to a very wise friend who essentially said to me, Amanda, there's a little boy inside of your husband that's not totally healed yet. And that really helped me change my perspective where you're not trying to be a moron. You're not trying to shirk what? Sometimes
Yeah.
it looks like it's purposeful.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I get so mad at you. Like the other day, I was like, I want you to be a spiritual leader of our household. But when we start praying or whatever, it's like you become the class clown. And I get really, really ticked off because I think it's a bad example for our daughters. And you had said to me, it's because I don't want to look stupid. And it goes back to elementary school when you got put in the special reading class and you thought you were that what they used to say back then was retarded. And it was this whole thing of your insecurity rearing up. And so I think there's an unforgiveness piece there, even towards you, that flaw. Like, I can't let that trigger me. I need the Lord to help me change my perspective and see what you're really dealing with. You're not being an idiot on purpose. You've got some deep wounds that He still needs to touch. And I need to have patience and I need to have faith and trust that the Lord is working in you. And in the meantime, I don't get to spill my nasty reaction onto you. The anger and the frustration and everything that comes from whatever unforgiveness I'm carrying, I have to take that to the Lord. Otherwise, I'm going to vomit it all over your head like I did on your birthday.
I don't disagree. It makes a lot of sense. We all have flaws.
Yeah.
I think in today's day and age, though, and for our generation and older, we were told not to talk about things.
Yeah.
We were told to just be quiet. And so what I have learned more than anything during my working career is to talk about it. And that does mean that there's some insecurity. I mean, there are still friends of mine that I don't like talking to because I feel flawed. I feel like I'm the mistake. And if they're smarter and kind of going back to your Bible talking thing, I get around some guys at the Bible men's breakfast or this or that, and they say these things, and I'm like, oh boy, it's the story in my head is that you're dumb and you're stupid and that you're flawed and don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And so when you're walking around thinking that about yourself, it's a hard concept. Even though people are like, oh gosh, you're great, you should do this, you should do this. That's not the story that is going on in my head right now.
Yeah.
We are a creature that will hold on to all of the negative, destructive comments, and we just kind of bounce off of the positive ones. Yeah. And it's a much easier thing to do is to hold on to that. And that's why you hear people that can sit and hear a word and they can remember exactly where they were in third grade.
Yeah.
Right. I could sit and go, oh, I've heard that 1,000 times. You're a great person. Okay, whatever. But they say the R word, or they say something like that. You can close your eyes and you can recall that moment, like as if it were yesterday.
Somebody in 6th grade told me I had scabies and I'll never forget it. And then when I got shingles as a 25-year-old, I freaked out because I thought I had scabies. That was a terrible example.
I just have one final thing that I want to add to this part. And when it comes to like forgiveness, right, and thinking about it, we all need to ask ourselves, do I want to continue to hold on to this madness in my heart? Because that's not what God would want. And yet a lot of us choose to continue to do it. We continue to hold on to this unforgiveness and pointing the finger at everyone else about what they did, their flaws, their mistakes. But the real question at the end of all this is, do I want to continue to hold on to this madness in my heart? Because that's who it affects, is me, my heart. And so if you're battling right now something and God's telling you to let it go and you're holding on to it, I just challenge you to ask yourself, how and what am I going to do to allow yourself to start forgiving? And the forgiveness may start with forgiving you, me, as you have to learn to forgive yourself for whatever that is. And that may be something that happened to you as a kid. You know, I'm not sure what it is, but if you continue to have this madness in your heart, it's going to be hard to forgive others and show compassion for others. And you're going to easily pick out people's flaws and mistakes and stuff like that if you're not at a point where you can forgive yourself.
Well, and I think too, it's not even that God would want you to let it go. God modeled that first. And scripture even says, like, he forgives us and we are washed white as snow. He forgives our sins as far as the east is from the west. He doesn't even remember them. It's like it never happened. It's completely erased because Jesus' death provided a way for all our sins to be forgiven, washed clean, forgotten, not even etched in any stone anywhere and remembered. And so the fact that he's done that with us, who are we to say, I'm going to do it different? The creator of the universe has shown us how to forgive. If you are choosing to hang on to that in your heart, you're in direct opposition to the behavior that the Lord has modeled for you. And when you're opposite of the Lord, you're obviously not on the right side of things.
Right. That's all I have for you.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
You got barbecue sauce on your shirt too. Did you start to disassociate? Yeah. All right. Thank you for coming. Do you want to shake my hand? Should we make this professional?
No.
Okay.
I just want to say,
I just wanted to shake your hand and make a formal ending.
No, I just want to thank you guys for listening to us. I hope a lot of that made sense. I hope that you had an amazing 2025. But from Amanda and I, we just want to bless you. Hope that you have an amazing 2026. Happy New Year. I hope that all your dreams and goals and everything that you were thinking about come to fruition. We just bless you, and oopsie daisy.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. You got to end it with this. You got to say, I love you guys. We'll talk next week.
I love you guys. You'll definitely talk next week with Amanda.
Close enough.